At the beginning of this movie we see a woman whose name is Melina, who is very beautiful in appearance. Melina lives in a small town and she is the most beautiful woman in this town. And every man living in this city likes her so much, and every man in this city wanted Melina to be his. But the other women of this city feel jealous about her and they want to be like Melina. And we see there is a boy, named Renato, in this town. He is much younger than Melina. And one day Renato takes a new bicycle and he goes to show his friends. Then his friends say while talking to him, "We have heard that Melina is about to pass through here," and all these people wanted to see her, and so they sat in one place at the same time. Melina starts passing by and these people see her. When Renato sees her for the first time, he keeps looking at her and he couldn't take his eyes off on her. When Melina leaves from there, then these people start following her again. These men keep chasing her until Melina reaches inside the city. Then we see that Melina's father is a teacher. He was teaching students in his school. And these people are sitting in their classrooms and these people keep talking about Melina in different ways. And these people are also troubling Melina's father. After class, Renato goes to Melina's house and looks at her, and Melina is lying sad at home. Here we find out that Melina's husband accompanied the army during the war until now. He hasn't come back. On the other side, we see Renato and his friend. "Who are you talking about, Melina?" Renato's friend tells him, "Once Melina asked me to get her a cigarette," and the rest of the town also used to say Melina is not a good woman, and various things have been spread in the society regarding Melina. After that we see Renato has started liking Melina a lot. Renato hears these things from many people that Melina is not a good woman and talks openly to everyone. Now slowly Renato also starts fantasizing about Melina, and now he starts thinking about Melina with him. Now Renato wanted to live like an adult, but in reality he was a child. Once Renato cut his father's pants and wore them himself because they do not like to wear their shorts. His father gets very angry with him about this and beats him, but Renato still hasn't improved and now he keeps chasing Melina all the time, and he looked at Melina from the pit he had made. Whereas Melina does not know anything about it, that someone is watching him. Then suddenly this news comes to Melina: her husband was martyred in a war. Melina gets very upset after hearing this news and she starts crying. Here we find out that Melina loved her husband very much when she came to know that her husband had died in the war. Then it ends up waiting for him, and one day Renato is working somewhere, then he overhears people talking about Melina in different ways. He feels as though only he knows the truth about Melina. And now I have to tell everyone that Melina is not a bad woman and she simply loves her husband. Renato now starts seeing Melina in his father's house as well, and now he starts imagining it like Melina has found him, and he says to Melina, "Don't worry, I'm with you," and he speaks his heart to Melina. Next we see Renato go to church and he prays to God, "Take care of God above Melina. Instead I will light candles here every day." And on the other side we see Melina's father. He gets a letter in which it is written, "Melina's affair is going on with everyone in the city and your daughter is not a good woman." Hearing this, his father gets very angry and he now refuses to accept Melina as his daughter and asks him to leave his house. And now Melina was all alone again. When Renato comes to know about it, that Melina has started living alone again, then he comes outside her house again and starts looking at him from the same hole. One night when he goes to Melina's house, then he sees that there is a police officer in his house. It all looked like they were actually having an affair. Renato feels very bad seeing this and he thinks, "I considered her to be a good woman and I was about to tell others that Melina is a good woman," but he doesn't believe in it at all. Just then a police officer comes out of the house and Renato starts hiding from her. When the police officer comes out, then he finds a doctor there. That doctor tells the police officer, "Melina is going to marry me. So what were you doing inside?" And because of this a fight ensues between the two. Then the police also came there after this. This word spreads everywhere in the town that Melina is having an affair with a married man. And for this he can also be jailed. Now Melina has become very upset. She then goes to a lawyer and she tells that lawyer, "I need your help. And later he wins that case and everyone knows this, that the doctor was lying. After winning this case, the same lawyer tries to force Melina, and Melina tries hard to stop him, but she can't do anything, and Renato sees this all happen, and seeing all this he gets very upset. At the same time we see the enemy attack in that city. And Melina's father has been murdered. When Melina learns about her father's death, then she becomes very sad, because now no one was with him who could take care of him, and whatever pension Melina used to get because of her husband, it was also stopped because now it was proven, and that's what he should have done. And after a while she takes a scissor and starts cutting her hair, and she thinks, this world calls me a bad woman. So now I have become a bad woman. When Renato sees all this, so he feels bad, and this bothers him a lot. And Renato still stops eating and drinking in Melina's misery. When his father comes to know about it, then his father does the same which Renato wanted. His father takes Renato to a place where Renato can fulfill his wish. On the other hand, we see Melina, who had now become a bad woman, and now every man in the city should come to him. And because of this, the wives of those people felt very bad, and he is very angry and beats Melina so much and throws him out of town. After that we see Melina's husband has returned, and he is alive, and someone had spread wrong news about Melina's husband. After that he goes to his house, but he sees Melina is nowhere to be seen. Some other people were living in his house, and he asks everyone about Melina, and everyone says that your wife has become a bad woman and now she doesn't live here. When he goes to his friends to find out about it, then his friends make fun of him and don't support him, and these people insult him, and these people beat him and threw him there when Renato sees it all. So he feels bad after that. He thinks, only I know the reality of Melina. And now I will tell everyone about Melina, that she is a good woman. After this, Renato wrote a letter to Melina's husband and told him Melina is not a bad woman, even though the villagers have made her a bad woman. The people of these societies said very bad things about Melina. Melina used to get very upset after hearing these things. Renato has written all this in his letter and tells Melina's husband what happened to her and how she was evicted from here. When Melina's husband read this letter, he was very angry with the people here. Then he goes back to pick up Melina. After this we see that he comes back to the same city while roaming with his wife. After this, all the people of this society start looking towards both, but now everyone respects her because now her husband was with her. All the people of this city have again started respecting Melina, and everyone is happy to see these two together. After this we see in the last scene of the film Renato meets Melina. When some things fall out of Melina's bag, then Renato picks it up and gives it to Melina and helps her. He wishes Melina, you have a good future, and after that both of them go on different paths, and this movie ends here. So this was the story of Melina. If you like the story, then watch the full movie, and if you want to see more such videos, then subscribe to our channel.